44 countries on 6
44
continents.
countries, yeah. That's worth.
I gotta get Antarctica out of the way.
We should film that.
It's right. We're all gonna get on an ice boat, crack our way through the ice.
Yeah, as long as we don't die, it's all right.
Well, you ain't been around the world with me, bro.
Man.
That is a you wonder you get a drone or something. You're not going to places I'm going.
Man.
Yeah, 44 countries, man. Leader of the Whiskey Brothers.
How'd you get into comedy?
I was bartending at a comedy club, and I just quit radio, and I thought I was a comic. I was always radio. You know, like DJs always are trying. They do the lamest jokes in between songs. They always read like a news headline and then try to punch it. I was that dude for the longest time on this rock station back in Beaumont, and I started bartending at this comedy club. And my buddies dropped my name in the bucket at the open mic while I was working. I didn't even know. And my name got called, and I went up there with, I still have my notebook. I was always in that, I'm working at a comedy club because I want to do comedy sort of mindset. But I was always putting it off. Not this week, not this week, not this week, not this week. And they called my name, and I was like, shit, this week. Yeah. And in hindsight, it was horrible. But you don't know that. You have that weird, and you know, like that weird level of delusion that you have to keep for the first 2 years. Because if you reacted to how bad you actually were on stage in that first couple of years, you would never do stand-up more than once. You'd be, oh my God, this is atrocious. I gotta go get a day job. Yeah. And I didn't hear it. I didn't hear the quietness. I didn't hear the silence. In reality, you could hear the air conditioner during my set. It was flatline. But I was like, yeah, I'm a stand-up. Yeah. Never looked back.
That's awesome.
Never looked back.
What's next for you after you tackled 7 continents?
You know, I'm working on a travel show right now. That's and I think Antarctica may be part of that show. My Instagram has taken off in this weird way. Half the people that follow it are all like members of like 90s rock bands or hip hop, Lupe Fiasco and Scarface, and people like, I've got a weird collection of followers. I got my book coming out at the end of the year, dropping the Whiskey Brothers special in a month or so, and I got a couple other things in the works.
How did y'all form the Whiskey Brothers?
I did not form the Whiskey Brothers. That is a Rob Mungle venture. He's been doing the Whiskey Brothers since 1998.
Okay.
And then when I moved back to Houston in 2000, the end of 2007, early 2008, the only remaining Whiskey Brothers were Rob and Sam. Everybody else had either retired or moved on or moved out. And Rob wanted to revive it. He goes, I think you'd be a perfect fit. Not only did I become a perfect fit, man, it's become a passion project. So we're on episode 520 something of the podcast now. We got these crazy listeners and all over the world. Had fans flown in from England for shows. That's always bizarre, like the Christmas show and everything else we do. Fans fly in. They're flown in from Minnesota, they're flown in from Colorado, they're flown in from Manchester. And it's just this amazing thing we built on accident. And I'm madly in love with it.
Hi everybody. We made it. We're here. It's good to be back. I haven't played here in a minute. I think the last time I was here, I didn't have this beard. It's new. I was not new. It's newish. I was in Europe, and my electric razor was in my luggage. They lost my luggage, so fuck it. I have a beard now. That's how it works. Nothing though will change your appearance more than a beard. You can shave your head. You still know it's you. Ladies, you get a boob job. You still know it's you. This, I don't recognize me. I walked into an airplane bathroom right after it happened. I opened the door, looked right in the mirror, and went, "Oh shit, a terrorist!" And I ran. It's good to be home, man. When I'm home, I have to do regular stuff. That's the bad part, right? You gotta hang out with your regular friends. They make you do regular things. One of my best friends just had a baby, and I don't know if you've been through this incredible life experience or not, but apparently, when your friends have babies, they want you to come over and hug, and touch, and take pictures with this little person that they made, and you can't say no or you're a dick. Yeah, it's my best friend. It's his firstborn child. I don't want to do it. I go to his house. I'm sitting on his couch. I'm holding his firstborn kid in my hand. And I suddenly look down and I realize that, this is the ugliest fucking baby. I have ever seen. And it's cool, some of you can laugh about that. Some of you got real uptight all of a sudden. Those are my favorite people, by the way, that defend every baby. I love that. You take that back. You take it, you can't say that. You can't, every baby is a gorgeous, beautiful little gift from there. Beautiful little angels. You're like, no, everyone in this room has seen that little half gremlin son of a bitch running through Walmart, knocking stuff off a shelf with a leather wing and a horn and a beak. What if I'm dating a girl and she spits out one of these chupacabras and then... If you have an ugly baby, listen, love it. You should, you did it. Could you maybe, I don't know, do the rest of us a little favor and like take a long, hard, objective look at that child before you start sending pictures out to all the rest of us? Have you ever got one of those birth announcements in the mail where you're like, oh, Jason's having a, what the fuck is that? Who puts a sweater on a goat? Why would you do that? I don't have any children. People with kids, by applause. People with children, by applause. How many? 2. That's a good round number. Some people, like, I don't have any. I think about it though, right? Like I think about how differently my life could have gone. I could have had kids. I think about the girl I was madly in love with in high school, for instance, right? What would have happened if she had known I existed? Like how different? She did not. I could have robbed her and she could have picked me out of a lineup. But she has never not been pregnant since high school. Not a single day. I know because Facebook, you can just check. Every day it's a picture of a pregnancy test or a pregnancy photo or she's holding up a sonogram. Like she shoots babies out like they are t-shirts at a Rockets game. And they just go in a corner and she reloads it like a Civil War cannon. Those are cats. But that is not a baby sound, is it? Not even close. No. I don't know. I have nieces. That's the way I have kids. If you're, it's a fantastic way to have children. If you're on the bubble, should I have them? Should I not? Go borrow someone else's. That will fix you. That's like renting a really shitty DVD where 2 hours later you're like, nah, take it back. I've seen everything there is to what? No, the face was scratched when you loaned it to me. Like my oldest niece, her name is Kennedy. I love her now. Now, yeah, she's 9 years old. She's adorable now. When she was first born, though, man, everything was a big deal. First kid in the generation, everything was huge. My brother threw the biggest first birthday party you've ever seen for this child. And I'm gonna say this on behalf of parents everywhere, non-parents everywhere. We hate your first birthday parties. We hate them. We hate everything about it. And I know they're a big deal to you, but just admit they're about you and not about the kid, and I'll come, right? Because they're very much like funerals in that regard. The person you're throwing them for just sits in the corner like... And I'm not saying don't throw one, I'm just saying think it through. Maybe get a babysitter for the kid, you and the person you made it with go celebrate the fact that you kept some alive for a whole year. Right? That's hard. It's impressive. Kennedy, she's 9 now, and I try to be a good uncle. I try to do cool things with her. I try to hang out. I go the other day to pick her up. I go, hey Kennedy, let's go to the park and ride your bike. And I didn't even know this. 9 years old, she looks up. She goes, I don't know how to ride a bike, Uncle Slade. And I was like, what? No niece of mine's about to be a little no bike riding punkhead. Like, I'll just teach you, Kennedy. She goes, okay. We go to the park. I don't know if you've ever tried to teach a child anything. It's the most difficult thing you'll ever... It's easier to convert to Hinduism, kill yourself, and hope you come back as the parent of a kid who already knows how to ride a bike. Because we tried, it takes like 3 minutes. She just shoves the bike down. She goes, I can't ride a bike. And I recognize this incredible opportunity to drop some knowledge into this soft little child head, right? I can leave her a lesson that might stay with her forever. And I go, Kennedy, that word you just used, can't, we're gonna take it out of your vocabulary. It prevents you from accomplishing things. Do you understand me? And she looks up, she goes, then I cannot. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to outsmart a 9-year-old. So I go, okay, how about this, Kennedy? That word you just used, can't? We're going to do that. I passed a law making that word illegal. So if you use it again, you're breaking the law. Do you understand that? I don't even know where they learned this. She looks up, she goes, it's like this, Uncle Slade. You're the governor, I'm the president. You passed a law I didn't like, and I changed it. And here's why I would make a horrible parent. I go, why don't you go Google what happened to the last President Kennedy and tell me how that shit worked out? Too far? Shooting a kid for a punchline? Okay. She's cool. I'm drinking. You guys drinking tonight? Yeah. Yeah, that's my last vice. I picked up a new one recently, kind of. I suffer from insomnia. I can't sleep at all. And I started smoking pot to fall asleep. All right, some of you in here. I'm new at it, and I'm not good at it. Some of you are functional pot smokers. Like, you can smoke pot and do other things. Like, you're high and you're here. I can't do it. It's only when I just get hungry and sleepy. That's all that happens to me every time I've ever smoked. And I remember sitting at home one day, I'm about to try to fall asleep, and my eyes start to shut. And right before they close, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, I should get up and make some food. And then I opened my eyes, and I had already eaten. Where the fuck did that go? How you lose an entire chunk of your life and not even remember it? But you know what I learned that night? No one becomes a great chef when they're high. You think you do, you don't. There's no gourmet potheads. No one ever wakes up in the kitchen, look, a cedar plank salmon with wild rice and asparagus. No, I open my eyes, I'm standing in the kitchen with a crock pot full of Captain Crunch and cucumbers. That's what was in the fridge. And it's weird, you don't even care when you're that high. You're just like, I'll just put the crock pot in the microwave. I'll slow cook this shit fast. I'm so bad at it, but I love it because I only do it at night when I'm safe and I'm cool and I'm comfortable. I get stoned. I watch a movie in bed and I watch it on my laptop. I don't even bother putting it on the TV because I know me, right? You ever do this? You watch like the first 8 minutes of a movie and you're stoned. You're like, man, I have no idea what I just watched. So you start it over, and 8 minutes later you're like, nope, not that time either. Doesn't work. Because I'm an analytical person, right? The munchies are the thing that gets me, right? I want to know why it works, why it happened. I was like, why do I feel like that? So I Google it. It turns out that THC tricks your body into believing it's starving. It's a chemical reaction that actually happens when you smoke marijuana. And I was like, well, if that's the case, I'll just outthink it, right? Before I smoke, I'll leave myself a note. Explain. So I like a nice little bowl there, and I'm like, dear Slade, you're about to be really high. But you're not really hungry. That's just a chemical reaction and you just ate. So just chill out and enjoy yourself, man. Love me. And then I'll smoke and I'll pick up that note and I'll read it. And I'll be like, bitch, I don't know me. Let's go to Whataburger. And every single time. And some of you have never smoked in your life, and I understand. You're like, talk about something else. Listen, you've been around it, okay? You don't have to smoke to understand. If you've ever been to a drive-thru after 10 p.m., you know, not even the line. The people that work there are so unbelievably high. I was at a Whataburger recently, and you can tell how stoned someone. The eyes when they go to a place when someone's really hot, they're open but they're closed, like they're in that place between awake and asleep where all the good ideas come from. Where they're open, but like the top half is like, we're open, the bottom half is like, bitch, we're closed, it's Sunday, you know those Chick-fil-A eyes. This dude working the window was higher than the furthest right piano key. He was it was gorgeous. He's working the window, and he hands me my order more proudly than I've ever seen a person do a thing. You could just like with two hands. Like it was a new Lion King. And it's what he said when he did it, man, because pot logic is real. There are things that only make sense to stone people. And as long as you're stoned, you don't even have to be part of the original conversation. You just understand, you guys are way too high. This is unbelievably so. I'm not even sure what joke you're laughing at, but it's welcome. Here's what he said. This is what got me. He hands me the bag. And I mean proudly, man, like he had trained. Check it out. We out of regular ketchup, but I gave you some extra napkins to say I'm sorry. It's like, what? That makes sense to him. That only makes sense if you're stoned out of your brain. I know, because I was like, right on, man, good looking out. And I drove home and I dipped my fries in those napkins. And I can't do it. Good for you guys for being able to be functional. I smoked one time during the day. Here's why I won't do it again. It turns me into a shitty person. One time during the day, I got sleepy, because that's what happens. I was like, man, it's the middle of the day. I'm tired as shit. And you can Google, have you ever Googled how to get unhigh? Have you ever done that? Yeah, that's a real Google search in my history. There's no answer. The internet will try. They're like, take a shower. I'm like, nah, I'm high and it's raining. This is... So I was like, I need to wake up. I'll just go to Starbucks. So I go to Starbucks, I get a medium coffee. That's when the munchies hit me. And I'm like, shit, I should have ordered a bunch of food. And I look up, I'm like, you know what? Because it does make you creative. I go, what'd the dude behind me get? And they go, he just got a medium coffee too. I was like, cool, let me get that for him. And I did. And I started this pay it forward chain, which sounds like I'm a good person. But I drove right back around and ordered all the cake pops in the entire store. And someone had to buy that shit for me. I don't encourage it, it's really bad. I always worry I'm gonna get homesick on the road. That's a fear, man. That's why it's good to be back for a minute. But everywhere I go, no matter how homesick I think I'm gonna get, I get other places all across the world. I'm like, oh wait, you guys have rednecks too. That's my favorite demographic on the planet. White trash? Oh my god. Like, you guys watch comedy to be entertained, I will watch rednecks, same reason. I'll go to Golden Corral and just sit there. Have you been? That's the white trash embassy. Yeah. You get your passport stamped. You can't, and I was in one of these restaurants recently, and I saw this redneck woman, and I use the term woman loosely. It's the single largest human being I've ever seen in my life. And some of you are like, I've seen bigger. No. No, picture the largest person you've ever seen right now. And then I want you to double that. And then I want you to square that. And I want you to feed that a sandwich. This is not an exaggeration. This woman weighed 1,000 pounds. 1,000. She had a comma. In her weight. Is there anyone like me? There's not one in my bank account right now. Are you kidding me? Are you? And I wouldn't make fun of her for being 1,000 pounds. I get it. That happens. Okay, not often. I mean, you can probably count on one hand the amount. Not her hand. It just moved like a mitten. But she was dressed inappropriately. I know. And now I get to talk about it. Are you ready? You're not. I was ill prepared. 1,000 pounds, camouflage spandex pants. Let that marinate. Do you know how much is wrong with that sentence? Do you know? 1,000 pounds camouflage spandex. For starters, spandex. Why are you making pants this big? I'll listen. You tell me what boardroom meeting went horribly awry, where one of your directors stood up on behalf of humanity and said, hey, we should stop at 2XL. And someone else went, nope, to the moon! 2, camouflage? Where are you gonna hide? Where? I'll listen, tell me, your camel toe is casting a shadow. And I mean like a real redneck shadow where you're like, oh my god, 6 more weeks of NASCAR! Like just... She walks by me, right? And all right, walk is probably not the word. Like an eclipse, she sort of passes the table. And the whole room gets dark. You can only look at her through a shoebox lid with a hole in it. And she has filled her whole tray up with food. And by the whole tray, she didn't even bother with a plate. That takes up space. Just the whole tray. And she's shoving whole hams and whole pizzas in her mouth like they're video game power-ups on the way back to the table. And as she goes past me, I reflexively want to say something, right? Just, it's a reflex. Just put down the chicken leg, Orca! It's just a muscle. But I don't. I don't say a word. I keep my mouth shut. And here's why. She's in there with a redneck guy. Yeah. And I'm not fighting a redneck guy. Because I don't know if you know this or not. You can't beat up a redneck. You can fight them, you can do a lot of damage, but no matter how bad you kick a redneck's ass, they come back for more. No matter how much damage you do, they're still like, you know what? You know what? Yeah, you threw me through that car window like a pussy. Well, I bet you can't break my other leg! It's like a Budweiser and a mullet gives them superpowers. Some of you are laughing because you know that guy. Some of you aren't laughing, but... I grew up around it, man. I grew up in a little southeast Texas town. I get redneck culture. I get it. I get small town ideas. I get dirt roads and pickup trucks and going to the creek. I get it. But I don't get some of the ideology that's hung around. I don't get racism. I don't get homophobia. It happens a lot in small towns. And I grew up around a really homophobic redneck dude, man. And one, he was terrified of gay people. He shouldn't have been. He was 6'5", 300 pounds. He shouldn't have been afraid of anything in this world. But terrified of gay people. You ever met someone who's so homophobic, they're like preemptively homophobic? They have to let you know nothing gay can happen, even though nothing gay was ever gonna happen. Like, I'm straight, he's straight. I go to pick him up to watch a football game. I'm like, hey man, you ready? He's like, yeah, before we go out, let's be real clear. No gay shit. That's a great rule. That's a great rule. I'm on board. What are you talking about? I'm saying, man, we go out tonight. Anybody puts a dick anywhere near my mouth, I'll bite it off. Okay, where have you been hanging out? Is this a problem? Is this... Are people throwing dicks at people in bars? That didn't even happen in jail. He's like, all right, whatever, say we go to jail. Anybody puts one near my mouth, I'll bite it off. You put another one there, I'll bite it off. Man, I'll wear a necklace made of bit-off dickhead so people know no dicks. And I'm like, whoa. What are you trying to say? He said, I don't care how many dicks I gotta put in my mouth to prove I'm not gay. I think you might be a little gay. I do. I think. It's such a weird subject, man. I'm on team gay. If you're gay, I'm on your side. I got your back. I'll fight for you. I don't give a shit. I got that. You guys had a rough run. It's almost over now. If you're just regular gay, it's not even a big deal. I know. Look how tight everybody gets all of a sudden. I know. Well, here's the thing, man. We're all online. The trans issue is the big thing in the news right now. I'm not gonna make this weird, so just relax, fuckers. But I'm trying to figure it out, right? Like that's a big deal, and I'm on their side too because you're never gonna hear me make an argument that this world needs more dicks in it. I'm never gonna make that argument. You know, I've never been at a party and been like, you know what? We need more dicks at this party. That's never gonna happen. You want to get the surgery? I'll drive you to the hospital, Phyllis. Let's go right now. I got a box cutter. We can do this shit in the kitchen. But now there's like 63 different genders, and I'm sorry, I can't keep the fuck up. I can't. It was easy when it was straight for like dude and shit, I got you. And then there was like C, other. You know what I mean? 63 different. I can't even name all 50 states, and I've lived here my whole fucking life. I gotta wrap my brain around 63 genders. I can only name 7 colors. I feel like it's like colors. You know what I mean? I can name all the main ones, and then I feel like only gay people know the rest. That's... someone to come back and cough up a little midget pellet. A little pellet like the stuff they can't digest, like hair and bones and those baby shoes.
So they told you that